Folks, back here on the Boss Man Show, you see him back in the background. My buddy, my brother, G, Grantland on the Boss Man Show again. G, tell me, how's life treating you over there in Charlotte, man, in the Queen City, brother?
It is phenomenal, man. I'm actually in Jacksonville for league meetings, had a little beach time and some time away before we get rolling here in June with our players coming back.
No doubt, man. You in Jacksonville. Speaking of that, last week news came down where Matt Driscoll, who's been there for years in North Florida, got an
Yeah,
opportunity to go to Kansas State with Jerome Tang, who he was with at Baylor. Talk about what Coach Driscoll meant to you since he's been in the league with you guys, and man, and how that was going against him, a long-time legend in North Florida. Since you are in Duval County right now.
congrats to Coach Driscoll, man. What an unbelievable opportunity for him and his son to go to K-State. And just think about this, the changing of the guard in the league and the A-Sun, Coach Driscoll, the all-time winningest coach, that's a big deal. He leaves. The two winningest coaches career-wise in the league history, Coach Acuff goes to Samford, and Coach Davenport retires. So you got over 1,000 wins between those guys that are gone now. And so, the ASUN is forever changed for those three guys and their mentorship to all of us. And just shout out to them and appreciate them.
And G, you got an extension, man. Congrats on that, man. A 5-year extension after the season, man. How happy are you for that extension? And first of all, just knowing that the leadership really believes in you and your vision as this team transitions from D2 to D1 now and heading on to bigger and better things, man.
I mean, it's an amazing, feeling to know that they believe in what we're doing long term. It's not just one person, it's the entire university that's backing us. And it's not just for me, it's for our entire program. And it just provides stability. I really appreciate that because obviously it's my first time ever being head coach, and it shows that we're in the right direction.
No doubt, G. And for you, man, like I know you about all the people around you, man. And talk about this, man. Trying to go from D2 to D1. Just for people to understand, how hard has that been for you guys, man? The transition from D2 to D1, not able to go to a tournament, having to get used to having more scholarships, can't split them up anymore. So for people who don't understand, how tough has it been? What's been some challenges? Also some things you've learned about the program since you're doing this right now.
Yeah, I mean, think about this. Our last 7 years in Division Two, we qualified for the NCAA tournament, and in all 7 of those years, every single poll, we were nationally ranked in the top 25. That is incredible, right? So to go from that to, 4 of the last 6 years winning 30 games, which is an incredible benchmark to get to 30 wins, so now we went to Division One, and we're not going to do that right away, right? But after year three, we won 20 games. We did qualify for the postseason and won a game in the CBI. So you can start to see the steps happening. But the transition is incredibly difficult. The level of play it's very different than Division Two. Not to knock Division Two. Division Two is phenomenal, but Division One, just like the resources that's put into it and a level of competition, it's just another step up. So really like where we're going with it, and think we've each year shown progress within the A-Sun. Going from 7-11 to 7-9 to 11-7. You can see that our program is taking steps in the right direction each year.
And you compete against Lipscomb tough. I was there with when you won in Lipscomb Legacy game and played them in the tournament as well. So like you all competition wise have been better and better and better. Because I remember year one when it was at Kennesaw State, how your guys were pretty much outmatched, overwhelmed for the most part, but they competed like heck for you. And now you compete with Lipscomb. They go to a tournament. They always a tough out. Coach Acuff's always a real coach. So just seeing the development of your program these past few years, man, and how where you're going with it, it's really great to see, man.
Yeah, that first year, our guys battled like crazy, and honestly, we could have beat Kennesaw in the conference tournament that year. But if you looked at our team, we were smaller at every single position that year. And the second year, we started to change that narrative. And then this year, I think we started to overwhelm some people with our positional size. And I think we still have another level to get to with physicality. But you could see the development in our roster and the change of it. But that's not a knock to our first year players. Kenny Dye, Gavin Rains, Jaden Turner. Those guys were warriors. AJ McKee. In my background, there's AJ right there. You can see him. He's right over there. So, but I think just most importantly, like you're starting to see that our roster is starting to be able to wear people down in Division One, and that's part of the progress.
Gee, will this be your last year transition this upcoming year? Then you'll be free of that, or you free
Yes, yes.
now?
So very fortunate that the NCAA in January allowed provisional teams to kind of cut a year off of their transition if they hit the academic and financial benchmarks. And very fortunate that Queens, the administration of Queens, the stability of it, we hit those. So we should be tournament eligible this year, which is an amazing like lift off of our program that we no longer can't play, have that I don't know what you want to call it, you know, black mark of you can't compete in the tournament. Well, now we can.
No doubt. And getting 20 wins is nothing to sneeze at. So let's talk about that, man. The work that started last June when they got on campus with you guys, the hard work. And I saw how you practice and how you prepare your guys and the drills you do. So talk about that, laying those bricks in June and July to get when you come
Yeah.
back fall semester to get ready for November and keep laying bricks every day in practice to get that 1% better as we all discuss on the show every day. And seeing you guys do that and get 20 wins out of it.
Yeah, I mean those 8 weeks in summer are so imperative to building your team and like the foundations of what you want in. And so what we started doing this first time I ever did it, our very first practice, we put in some foundational pieces defensively, and then we played. I wanted to see what we had, and then we kept playing every day. And I thought our guys loved it. They loved competing, and they loved competing against each other. But you started to see a chemistry built in June and July, and so we're going to do that here. We start June 9th. And that first day, we're gonna put in some foundational pieces, and then we're gonna hoop. We're gonna see what we have, and I just think the guys got to build that chemistry and camaraderie. But those summer foundation pieces are so important because it allows you to really focus in the fall on some different things.
And G also they can develop their bodies too, get them training on nutrition because that's so important these days because sports performance and sports health is so important. So talk about the piece of getting their bodies the right way, get them eating the right things so they can have the fuel to be ready for a long, grueling year from November, hopefully through March.
Yeah, I mean, I think most 18 to 19-year-olds they still eat for enjoyment, and they don't realize that. But when you're eating as an athlete, you're eating to fuel your body. And so you're not always going to like what you eat, but and you may not even like the times that you eat at times, but you have to eat the right stuff at the right times so your body's at peak performance. And so guys need to learn about that. Shout out to our nutritionist Rachel; she does an unbelievable job. To our trainers and our strength staff for also staying with those messages so that guys understand that eating is a super important. Eat and sleep, super important part of that process.
Especially that recovery piece, G, because like when you where you're tearing up muscle, you're doing things to build up, but you have to recover too. You can't go work out, hoop for 2 or 3 hours, and then not do nothing. You have to really commit to your recovery, like these NBA guys do, to be able to stand the long, grueling grind and the contact, and not go down with soft tissue injuries or injuries that keep you out with torn ligaments. So, how about the teaching about recovery as well, G?
Yeah, a huge part of the process, right? So, after you play a game, and in the NBA, it's unbelievable, 82 games. In college, you're playing 35, so 40 if you're really good. But I guess, you finish playing a game, the stuff you eat, the sleep, and then the next day, how you treat your body. We say the rest and recovery is the most important part of the day after the game. And so that recovery process actually starts that night and how you stretch and what you eat. And then when you wake up in the morning, you actually want to get your body going and you want to break a sweat because it starts that recovery process earlier. And actually, the next day lift after the game is the most important thing you're going to do. And it's a recovery lift, but what it does is it makes your body ready for that next performance way faster.
No doubt, G. No doubt, man. Let me ask you this, G. For as you getting the coach and getting the coaching and more in your career as a head coach now, what's your approach to practices now? 'Cause I know in the NBA now, a lot of guys do optional work days, stay ready days for the guys who don't play, or you may go 45 minutes to an hour, do some things, not really play live, but maybe sure going over your stuff. So, how do you approach practice these days, man, with your knowledge of sports recovery and now how to keep guys healthy, kind of like the NBA does? You kind of mimic that a little bit for you and your guys, or you kind of play it by ear?
Yeah, I mean, I think college is nice because you have a little bit more consistency. So like we know that in our league in the ASUN, we play Thursday, Saturday, but there's a travel partner, so you're going to play one day, have a day off, play the next day, and then you get a week to prepare for the next set. So, for us, I used to, as old school, you'd start off light in the week and build up to before the game. Well, I found out that wasn't the best for the player's body. You actually want to start heavier on Monday and then lighten it Tuesday and Wednesday so they're peaking Thursday. So typically the day before a game, we practice about 50 minutes. We do have live reps because that's just, I think college players need to play more, but we build less so that they peak more on Thursday. And then Friday, we do no live contact at all, just recovery and break a sweat to prepare for Saturday. So we typically go hour and a half on Monday, hour 10 minutes on Tuesday, 45 to 50 minutes on Wednesday, and then they're peaking on Thursday. And I've had to learn a lot about that. And shout out to our strength coach Adam Linens who really taught me what that looks like.
No doubt, G. And also, man, talk about your staff, man. JR got Reynolds got promotion. He gives on Omaha, Chris Crutchfield, somebody I know very, very well. So let's talk about the development of your staff and how even for your staff and for your players, growth and development is a key piece of being a part of Queens basketball.
Man, I'm so happy for J.R. Reynolds, and he did an unbelievable job. He came here as the director of basketball operations year one. Year two, he's an offensive coordinator, and he did such a good job that Omaha poached him. And I'm not scared to say that. Like J.R. did a phenomenal job, and now he got to seek the benefits of that. And our program is all about development. It's not just for the players, but our coaches too. And you see guys get better and better each year, and they're going to get more and more responsibility. The development piece is a huge part of it. So really happy for JR. And the good thing with that is it opens up opportunities in our staff. And so both Amit Taylor and Damian Dixon have been promoted to assistant coaches. And we're going to have some other guys come in underneath them, and they're going to really work hard to get what JR got out of this experience where, vertical movement. And I couldn't be happier for JR. Couldn't be happier for our staff with Amit and Damian getting a new opportunity, and we're going to see the new guys come in. I think we're going to shock some guys with the caliber of guys that we got to come in behind Amit and Damian.
No doubt. And G, for what you can discuss, talk about the guys coming back on the roster this year and some key guys that you want to talk about. You can wherever you want to go, you can go with it. But talk about the roster, how you feel about the roster, and looking forward to working with these guys here in a couple of 10 days or so.
I mean, think about it in this portal area, it's hard to retain guys, but it's one thing that we were able to do this year. We retain our starting backcourt to start. So, Bryce Cash, our point guard, and just Mr. Do It All, Swiss Army knife winner, Bryce Cash, who guards 1 through 5, and he guarded Jacob Ignacevic, the conference player of the year, who's a 4-5 man. He guards point guards, he guards leading scorers on the wing, and then but it's really how fast he plays and he moves the ball so well. He just makes great decisions. So super happy Bryce is back. And then Chris Ashby, the only all-league player in the ASUN returning, hit 115 threes last year. And he really came on late, not just as a shooter, but as a scorer. Started getting the foul line more, started getting to the basket more. And so I think Chris is going to take another jump this year and really excited for Chris Ashby. But not just those two guys. We had the highest or 10th highest scoring bench in the country, so 10th out of 365, and three key pieces from that bench, Nazman, Yoav Berman, and Maban Jabril, all back, and they're all perimeter players. Maban has a lot of position flexibility, but we returned 5 players from our 9-man rotation last year, which is unheard of in this era. So what a foundation to build off of, if that makes sense. And all 5 players are going to have a huge impact on our team and bigger roles than they had last year, and just really excited for them.
No doubt, man. And G, be able to play 9 men you can actually trust is very important because we see what happens when you only go 7, 6, 7.5, 6.5 deep. How that looks and that don't look good. So the way you all play with the intensity you play, having 9 guys you can trust is important. And finding those quality guys who you can trust with the game plan, know what to do, know what to be. Very, very important to winning games in ASUN, which is very, very tough.
Yeah, so we know those 5 guys are reliable, right? Because they've already done it, and so then now we have 8 new guys, and those 8 guys that we got to find 4 of them that we can trust, that can make right decisions and do the things that we're looking to do to win. And so, I only got to bat 50% on this, which isn't bad. That's the fortunate part of this, but we're super excited. We have 3 big time impact freshmen, like holy cow. super excited about those guys. Jordan Watford, the number one player in South Carolina, who won a state championship, and six 6'5" point guard. Isaiah Henry is 6'5", again, kind of like Bryce Cash, Swiss Army knife, 230 pounds, who just can play 1 through 4. And man, I'm super excited about Zay being here. And then DZ Coles, who's a 6'5", 220-pound shooter. And he just he's going to be, man, his physicality and his motor are phenomenal. And those are freshmen, right? So everyone says you can't play freshmen. Well, we played 2 last year. I don't, that doesn't bother me. And then the 4 transfers we have coming in, uh, super excited about those dudes. Started off with Gus Larson from Cal Berkeley, grad transfer. Man, man, 6'10", can score on all 3 levels. Super excited about Gus. And then you got Avante Parker, who has the most points scored of our transfers, and scored 9 points a game at Georgia Southern. And Avante could be the most talented kid in ASUN if he can get more consistent. He's 6'9", got a phenomenal physique. He really can score on multiple levels. He's really athletic. So Avante's got a huge upside. And then you got Carson Schweiger, who played at Valpo, and he's a 6'8", like, again, a huge physique and body, 230 plus pounds, but he shoots the crap out of the ball. So excited about all these guys, and we still have one more to add here publicly, which we'll announce here shortly. But I'm just really excited about the group.
I hear that, man, G, because I say the way you coach, the way you style play is fun. That's something I would want to play for because it's fun. You just it's simple, but it's fun, and you know what you're doing is you really care about your guys too, G, and that's why I really care. I know me and you are friends off the air, we're brothers, but like talk about how much you care about these guys when they get to you, and no matter after they leave Queens, how you still care for these guys no matter what.
Yeah, and it's something I really learned from Bart Lundy is like you pour into these guys, and when I was first coaching, I thought I was probably looking back pretty transactional, where it was about me, and once I started realizing it's about them and their experience, and just giving them the best opportunities they can to grow and get better as players and as people, and you just pour into their experience, man, you really see the connection and the family. It just changes everything, and so it's really exciting as you watch guys like graduate and accomplish their dreams. Malcolm Wilson, Defensive Player of the Year, and he's going to be a phenomenal pro, and so is Leo, and so is Caleb, and I'm super excited for them. But they're still welcome here, and part of what's unique about Queens is how much the alumni come back. I mean, we got about 15 guys playing overseas right now, and those guys all going to come back this summer and spend time with our guys because they still want to feel like they're a part of the program. And I've never seen it at this volume. I'm sure that there's other programs like that, like Villanova and other places, but Queens has that too, and it's just special to be a part of.
No doubt. And G, I also see you got basketball camps coming up, man. Talk about how cool it is if you have basketball camps. See, these little kids have this just joy for basketball, man. And just be able to teach these young men the game, ladies the game, and just see their joy and give them a little something to help their games going forward, man.
Man, it's awesome. I mean, it's part about building community and building community through basketball. And so you have camps, and it's an outreach, and our players work camps. Probably the best part about it is that the young campers get to bond with our players, and so then when they're at games and they have T-shirts and they want to sign, our guys know their names, and it's very unique, because we do about 4 weeks of the little kids camp, and you see these kids, they start from like age 6 or 7, and you start to see them progress through camp over the years. And next thing you know, they're in high school. And, one of my favorite campers ever, he's playing football in Notre Dame. And he came to all the camps growing up, all the way through little kids camp, and then went to elite camp. And then we stopped playing basketball. I just started going to his high school football games, and now he's playing football at Notre Dame. So it's just so unique that you get to see the whole thing progress. And, there's even camp. The best part about it is every kid doesn't have to love basketball to have a great time at camp. And what camp can just teach you is, hey, that you're going to find that thing in life that you love. But basketball is a great avenue to learn some tools so that when you get to that thing, whether it's playing the trumpet, or playing the drums or being in drama. Uh, just hopefully you took some skills from camp that you can use for that.
No doubt, man. Some of my best memories are at camp. Because I'll be real with you, G. You know, I went to Tennessee State. I met Anthony Mason and Carlos Rogers at basketball camp as a kid. Because my mom sent me up there to go to camp. So that's what, in my head, as a 5-year-old, meeting Anthony Mason and Carlos Rogers stayed in my head. And I knew about Tennessee State because of that. So, like you said, camp can really have an impression on you. It did for me as a 5-year-old.
Yeah, I still remember my favorite camp experience. Tony Bennett did a shooting. In People don't realize he's a great coach at Virginia. He was a heck of a player. Okay, played in NBA, and Tony did a shooting demonstration, and it's still burned in my memory to this day. And just yeah, there's so many unique camp experiences. I love it.
And G, for you, man, last one for you, man. How has it been trying to schedule these games, man? I know guys don't want to play you because of your style, man, and how good you all have got. So, how has scheduling been for you, man?
Well, this time last year, we'd already announced our schedule, and we have not yet for a reason. We're close, but it's been difficult. A couple teams just like we kind of want to play you, but we kind of don't, and so hopefully we get that done here soon. But we do have some very unique games already scheduled. We are playing Auburn, who is in the Final Four. We are playing Villanova and Virginia, who have won national championships in the last 10 years. We do have the local. We're going to actually play Winthrop the very first game of the season, 8 a.m. on that Monday, which is going to be awesome. So, 8 a.m. game, like what a great way to start a day. So we have some really unique stuff. Gardner Webb at our place and South Carolina State coming to our place for the first time ever. So I'm really excited about the local flavor of our schedule and then also the national flavor. And I think we got a couple other surprises here with some big schools coming up if I can get the contracts done soon.
And shout out to Antoine Banks, John C. Smith getting a full-time job over there, man. Shout out to him, man. Right there in Charlotte, we're with you, man. I know you and him are tight. So I want to shout him out.
Love Banks for that, man. When we actually met when I was at Payne College and working for Jimmy Link and in the same league. He was at Kentucky State, and Banks and I have stayed close. He was at Clayton State when Queens was Division II, and we had the opportunity to play them a few times and got them a couple times. But Banks is a really good coach, and my thing is, and goes with scheduling, we're going to play John C. Smith every year, and even though Division II, I respect that hometown and part of it, and just want to. I think you got to play local and you got to stay local, and I think you support local. And if you look in the Charlotte area, I'm going to quiz you on this. We've been Division I for 3 years. Davidson, Charlotte, and Queens. Who's got the most wins over those 3 years?
I'm gonna say Queens probably.
You know it. Support local. So, over the last 10 years, this is not a joke. Queens has been the winningest program in Charlotte. You talk about the Panthers, you talk about the Hornets. Like Queens has done an unbelievable job. So, you want to see some phenomenal basketball come out to the Levine Center. In the last 3 years, we've won a ton in Division I through this transition, and I hope that we just keep ascending. But support local, baby. Come out and support the Queens Royals, Myers Park, Levine Center. You'll see a great show.
No doubt. We'll leave it right there. It's my man, G. Grant Leonard on the Bossman Show, the Queens Royal, my brother. I'll see you soon. We know we're going to get together real soon offline, brother. Already know.
I'm coming to Atlanta. We'll go to a Braves game, my friend.
No doubt. Appreciate you, guys, my man.
All right. Thanks, JR.